Stoney Creek, Peter Cornwall, Welland, Michael Krill, Beaches East York, strong New Democrats that have been voicing the concerns of workers in this province day in and day out in this legislature. I have to tell you, it's a tough economic time out there and everybody knows it. Probably the worst time that we've seen since the Great Depression. Jobs are leaving this province like crazy, and we are seeing workers from one end of this province to the other suffering, and suffering badly. Some 300,000 jobs gone, and you know what kind of jobs those are. Those are good jobs, good union jobs, with benefits and with pensions, and those are the jobs we're losing in this province. And the McGuinty government has had no response, no solution at all to this crisis. But it's not just a jobs crisis, and we know that. It's also a pensions crisis that we're facing in this province. New Democrats have been in this legislature for years now, at least 5 years, because I was the pension critic when I was first elected 5 years ago, and I know that I was raising these issues. The issue around the Pension Benefit Guarantee Fund. The fact that that fund is broken, is underfunded, and has been broken and underfunded for quite some time. And as a result of a government that is refusing and has refused for 5 years now to make the amendments to that piece of legislation to change the pension system in Ontario, leaves every single one of you and every worker in this province with a pension plan vulnerable. Vulnerable that once the axe comes to your workplace and the chance that your employer is going to be going bankrupt, then you will find that all of the hard work that you put into your company and all of the dollars that your deferred wages that you put away for when you retire are not going to be there for you, and neither will a pension backup fund that is the obligation of the province of Ontario. It won't be there either. And shame on this government. We have been saying for quite some time that the Pension Benefit Guarantee Fund not only needs to be fixed, but we need to make sure that the minimum, or rather the maximum amount of money that you can get paid needs to be raised from $1,000 up to $2,500. Absolutely. And we've been calling on the government to make that change now for many, many years. But you know what? There are a lot of workers in the province of Ontario that don't even have a pension plan at all. And we know what that means. That means there's no doubt that many, if not all, of those workers are going to retire and not have dignity in their retirement and not have a good, decent quality of life in their golden years. And that is unacceptable in the province of Ontario. And so we want to see, New Democrats want to see the government not look to the federal jurisdiction, not look to Mr. Harper. We all know how progressive Mr. Harper would be on a pension issue. So we don't want to see Don McGuinty point to the federal jurisdiction. We want to see the Premier of Ontario take responsibility for putting in place an Ontario pension plan. We have heard from Dalton McGuinty are musings about how the fund is simply not big enough, never will be big enough to be able to deal with the crisis that we're facing if it gets as bad as we think it's going to get. That's the response. Musings about the fund not having the capacity and government not having the capacity to make it what it needs to be. And then they introduce a budget. They introduce a budget buried in which are amendments that actually make it easier for the government to turn its back on the Pension Benefit Guarantee Fund. Shame on them. That is not the response that the working people of this province deserve. It is not the response that the working people of this province want to see from their government. It is time this government steps up to the plate and starts addressing the crisis in our jobs and the crisis in our pension systems. Because it's the very least that workers of this province deserve. After years and years and years of dedication, of toiling, of hard work that you have put into your workplaces, at the very least you deserve to retire with dignity, with your pension plan that is whole and that meets your needs, because that's what you bargained over the years, sisters and brothers, and that's the very least that you deserve. Away from this fight, that we're in it with you for your pensions, for the pensions of all of the workers in Ontario, and for those people, the 65% of Ontarians who don't have a pension plan. I wanted to mention France Jelina, our member from Sudbury, has also had a chance to join us. Sisters and brothers, I love to see what I'm seeing right now. We got to keep up the pressure and make this government respond to the needs of the people of this province. Thank you very much.